A House of Horror. It was July 2nd, 2022. In the quiet suburb of Mossley in Manchester, England, the street lights flickered, children slept, and life moved slowly until just after midnight. Inside a modest home on Riverside, 38-year-old Thomas Campbell was ambushed. Not by one man, but by several. They waited. They knew his schedule. And when the door opened, they struck. What followed was 3 hours of torture. Not a fight. Not a struggle. A targeted, planned execution. Campbell was beaten, tied, stabbed, and dragged across his own floor. By the time paramedics arrived, it was too late. His face was swollen beyond recognition. Blood soaked the floor, the walls, even the stairs. Who could have done this? Who would want him dead, and why in this way? Thibault, who was Thomas Campbell? Thomas Campbell wasn't a stranger to danger. A former inmate with a past linked to drug distribution, Campbell had reportedly turned over a new leaf. To neighbors, he was a fit, well-dressed man, a father, a gym regular. But behind the scenes, whispers swirled about money, status, and enemies. Campbell wasn't just known, he was watched. And whoever killed him knew exactly what they were doing. They didn't want to silence him. They wanted to make a statement. To the scene and the signature. Crime scene investigators found signs of premeditation. The home showed no signs of forced entry. The attackers waited for him to return. They tortured him for hours. Not to kill, but to send a message. A ring of tape. A scorched floor. A baseball bat. Tools that spoke louder than words. There were signs he had been restrained. Legs bound, mouth gagged. The autopsy revealed multiple fractures and stab wounds. This wasn't rage. It was ritual. Enter John Belfield. Days later, police released a name, John Belfield, a 28-year-old with a reputation. Notorious in Manchester for his underworld ties. A man who'd reportedly climbed the ladder in drug distribution. Clever, ruthless, charismatic, but also invisible. When Campbell's murder hit the news, Belfield vanished. Gone. No phone pings, no sightings. Authorities launched a Europe-wide manhunt. Was he hiding? Or had he escaped for good? 5. A network of violence. As investigators peeled back the layers, they uncovered a web of planning, phone records, surveillance footage, text messages, and 3 other suspects, Belfield's alleged accomplices, were caught and tried. They were convicted. But one thread remained loose, Belfield. The prosecution alleged he was the orchestrator, the one who picked the target, chose the day, and gave the order to strike. So why did he do it? The motive, jealousy, and revenge. At the heart of the story was a woman, Thomas Campbell's ex-wife. She had reportedly started a new relationship with John Belfield. What began as romance, police say, turned into obsession. Prosecutors claim Belfield wanted to humiliate Campbell, ruin him, make sure he never came back. So he plotted, tracked Campbell's movements, studied his home, and built a team willing to carry it out. Some say it was personal. Others say it was about status. Either way, it was brutal. And the run and the capture. For months, Belfield remained a ghost. Interpol got involved. Tips came in from Spain, France, even Dubai. Finally, in November 2022, he was arrested in the Netherlands, hiding under a false name with fake documents. He didn't resist, but what he said next stunned everyone. At Finding Nemo. Belfield told authorities he had nothing to do with the murder, that he wasn't there. That on the night of Thomas Campbell's death, he was at home, watching Finding Nemo with his daughter. The claim went viral. A man accused of torture and murder, alibying with a children's movie. The jury was shown receipts, pizza orders, Netflix activity, text messages. But the timeline didn't match. And the tech data, his phone location, CCTV gaps, and communication with the co-defendants told a different story. Was the Nemo story a lie? Or was it a desperate father trying to cling to innocence? 9. In the courtroom. Now, in 2025, John Belfield sits in a Manchester courtroom, stone-faced, silent. His co-defendants, already convicted. Their testimony points to him as the ringleader. The jury listens to graphic detail, the images, the bruises, the blood. Belfield's defense team argues that the case is circumstantial, that there's no direct forensic evidence placing him at the scene. But prosecutors argue otherwise, that powerful men don't leave fingerprints, they leave orders, and that everyone else has already paid the price. 10. The verdict ahead. As the trial nears its end, one question hangs in the air. Is John Belfield guilty beyond a reasonable doubt? Or is he being framed by guilty men looking to save themselves? For For Thomas Campbell's family, the answer is clear. They want justice. They want closure. And above all, they want someone to be held accountable for the pain, the horror, the silence left behind. The jury will soon decide. And when they do, another file will close. But the echoes of this crime will never fully disappear. Subscribe to The Silent Files for more true crime stories that cut beneath the surface. Let us know, do you believe Belfield's alibi? Or is he the missing piece in a murder planned like a military op? This is The Silent Files, where we speak for the stories that no longer can.